In the 5th year of being with Kevin, he gave me a proposal for the ages, but on the night before the wedding, I caught him losing control as he pinned his adopted sister against the corner of a wall. I'm only with her to stop her from pestering Sam. Are you really going to watch me marry someone else? I had no intention of becoming a supporting character in their earth-shattering love story. When I was preparing to run away from the wedding, someone grabbed my wrist. That person leaned close to my ear. I'm planning to steal a bride. Do you want to say yes? Chapter 01. On the night before the wedding, I went to the hotel to bring Kevin the game props needed for the wedding door games. As it happened, the hotel elevator was under maintenance. On top of that, his phone kept going unanswered. Left with no choice, I could only take the stairs to the floor where he was staying. I had just stepped out of the emergency stairwell when I saw Kevin pinning a woman against the corner of a wall. From the phone he had raised, the ringtone that belonged exclusively to him and me was still playing. I instinctively stopped in my tracks. Kevin hadn't noticed my arrival at all. He gripped that woman's wrist, his emotions clearly agitated. You said you wanted to see Sam, so I gave Celine a proposal for the ages and let the news spread across all the major media outlets. You said you liked him, so I went after Celine, all to make sure she would no longer have any chance to pester Sam. But Lisa, are you really just going to watch me marry another woman? The woman opposite him seemed unused to being treated this way by him. She struggled a little, revealing half of her face. With a thunderous crash in my mind, the blood in my entire body seemed to freeze. It was his family's adopted daughter, Lisa. Lisa's gaze intentionally or unintentionally landed in my direction. The corners of her lips lifted almost imperceptibly. When she raised her eyes to look at Kevin again, her eyes had already reddened. She clutched Kevin's clothes and choked out, Kevin, I know you pursued Celine for my sake, but I really don't want to watch you sacrifice your own happiness for me. Kevin, run away from the wedding. The moment those words came out, the last thread of reason in Kevin's mind snapped completely. He lost control and kissed Lisa on the lips. Immediately after, the two of them kissed and stumbled into the room. I couldn't hold back anymore. I bent over and retched uncontrollably. Chapter 02. I met Kevin 6 years ago. At that time, I was at a bar with my friends. By accident, I ended up alone and even drank alcohol that had been drugged. At the most dangerous moment, it was Kevin who saved me. He sent me to the hospital and stayed by my side the entire night. When I woke up, he told me with a serious expression about the dangerous situation from the night before. At that time, I only felt grateful toward him and had no other thoughts. But from that day on, Kevin gradually seeped into my life. He always ran into me by coincidence, and then showed, at just the right time, that we shared the same interests and hobbies. Even the way he dressed was exactly the type I liked most. His appearance in my life was too targeted, so I had always remained wary. He wasn't in a hurry either, and pursued me like that for more than a year. It was also during that year that I gradually wavered. After all, Kevin was the eldest son of a wealthy family in Beijing's elite circle. His family had both power and influence, and there was nothing to criticize about his looks either. For him, there really wasn't anything worth scheming for from me. So I tried interacting with Kevin, and we gradually developed into a romantic relationship. Once we started dating, it lasted 5 years. 2 months ago, Kevin gave me a proposal for the ages. Afterward, I heard people say that he had prepared for that proposal for more than half a year. I stared blankly at the closed room door, unable no matter what to connect the person who had knelt before me and sworn he would love me for the rest of his life with the person who had just kissed his adopted sister. If I hadn't come tonight, they probably would have planned, after their intimacy ended, how to run away from the wedding and leave me humiliated. I slowly straightened up, wiped away my tears, and then went to the banquet hall where the wedding was to be held tomorrow. Looking at the photo, at Kevin's gentle appearance with eyes full of only me, I picked up a pair of scissors and slashed the picture to shreds. When I turned my head, I saw the flowers beside it. Back then, Kevin had said he had personally chosen each and every one of them. I tore all the flowers down. Kevin had already paid the full amount for the wedding decorations. So at that moment, I had no psychological burden at all doing these things. After smashing things for half an hour, the stuffiness in my chest finally dissipated somewhat. Then I called and hired 2 people. telling them they had to destroy all the decorations at the wedding venue before dawn tomorrow. When I walked out of the banquet hall, a gust of cold wind blew past, and I shivered. Just as I was about to leave, a coat fell over my shoulders. When I saw his face clearly, I froze for a moment. It was Sam, the person Kevin and Lisa had mentioned just now. Seeing my disheveled state, he froze too. The wedding is tomorrow. Why are you crying like this? Before I could speak, he said again, that bastard made you sad, didn't he? Thinking of the scene I had just witnessed, I still felt nauseous. Seeing this, Sam turned around and was about to go find Kevin to settle the score. I grabbed his arm. There's no need to look for him. The wedding is cancelled. Sam stopped and looked at me with furrowed brows. For a moment, we looked at each other in silence. Sam and I had been neighbors since childhood, but ever since I became connected with Kevin, he had gone abroad. Recently, I also hadn't heard any news that he had returned. So, in truth, I had no idea where this claim that I was pestering Sam came from. After a long silence, Sam asked me, what exactly happened? This matter was not my fault to begin with, and I had no intention of helping Kevin cover it up. Besides, Sam could also be considered half involved. I told him everything I had just seen and heard. Sam seemed like he wanted to speak but stopped, then stopped but wanted to speak again. They're sick. They're filthy themselves and still have to drag others into it. That's disgusting enough. I tugged at the corner of my lips. Wasn't that exactly it? Everyone was just one part of their earth-shattering love play. Sam looked fixedly at me. After who knew how long, he suddenly spoke. I'm planning to steal the bride tomorrow. Do you want to say yes? He seemed a little nervous, his lips pressed tightly together, not daring to look into my eyes. Seeing that I didn't speak for a long time, he added, doesn't that thing like me? Like me so much that she made Kevin pursue you, just so we wouldn't have any contact. If your groom changed to me, don't you think that scene would be very interesting? I lowered my head, my mind turning quickly. It did sound very satisfying, but what about afterward? What should we do? Thinking of that, I shook my head. I'll tell everyone the wedding is cancelled. Thank you for your kindness. As I said that, I turned to leave. Sam hurriedly blocked my way. Because he was anxious, even his words became somewhat incoherent. Actually, I want you to do me a favor. My footsteps paused, and I turned to look at him. Sam spoke very quickly. Being liked by someone like her is truly disgusting. So just treat it as doing me a favor. Help me get rid of her harassment. As for what happens afterward, we can wait until the wedding is over. And after some time, announce to everyone that we've separated. That way, those two won't have an easy time. And it can also solve the urgent problem at hand. He finished speaking quickly and carefully observed my expression. What do you think? It sounded good, but I pointed toward the inside of the banquet hall. I already notified people just now to smash up the wedding venue. By now, they should have finished destroying it. Once the money was in place, everything got done very quickly. Sam curled the corner of his lips. Simple enough. Leave it to me. Chapter 03. Sam fully demonstrated the power of money. After one night, the wedding decorations had already been completed at another hotel. The friends Kevin and I had in common received the temporary notice about the change of venue and were rather surprised. When they arrived at the entrance and saw that the groom in the wedding photo was actually Sam, they were even more confused. Taking advantage of the moment when the guests weren't paying attention, they quietly came to my dressing room and asked me what was going on. I looked at myself in the mirror and smiled. The groom changed. Hearing me say that, they exchanged glances with each other. After a long while, a girl finally asked carefully, "You finally noticed?" I was slightly stunned. Someone poked her arm, signaling her not to say anything careless. She pretended not to notice and let out a breath of relief. Actually, on the day Kevin proposed to you, I ran into. Seeing my calm expression, she gritted her teeth and simply said everything. I ran into Kevin and Lisa kissing, but it was too dark at the time, and I didn't manage to get any evidence, so I couldn't tell you directly. I didn't speak. It was disgusting. While Kevin was pledging eternal love to me, he could still find time to go comfort Lisa. But aside from disgust, I felt nothing else. I curled the corner of my lips at her. It's fine, don't take it to heart. Only then did she smile, continuously praising my makeup and wedding dress. Just as everyone was chatting enthusiastically, Sam lightly knocked on the door twice. The ceremony is about to begin. Are you ready? The moment they saw how he was dressed, the room fell silent for an instant. Very quickly, my friends used the excuse of taking their seats and left the room. Sam's icy appearance disappeared instantly. Through the mirror, he stared at me without blinking. His gaze made me uncomfortable, so I waved my finger at him. With such little time, where did you get this? It was exactly the size of my finger. Sam was startled by me and quickly looked away, his expression somewhat unnatural. Borrowed it from someone. I nodded and didn't ask anything more. The wedding went exceptionally smoothly, and because Sam kept holding my hand, my anxious heart gradually settled down. Until, after the wedding ended, when we were preparing to move to the next venue for the party. We had just walked out of the hotel when we saw that all of Kevin's relatives were waiting outside the banquet hall. The moment the door opened, Kevin's mother pointed at me and angrily scolded. Our family spent so long preparing for this wedding, and not only did you send people to smash up the wedding venue, you even changed the location. And you even dared to change the groom at the last minute? Sam's brows furrowed slightly. He was just about to speak, but I stopped him. I raised my eyes and looked at Kevin's mother. Your son deceived me into marriage first, then eloped and ran away from the wedding with someone else. Why should I stay at the wedding venue and wait to become a laughingstock? As soon as I said this, the group of relatives and friends behind Kevin's mother began whispering among themselves. Deceived her into marriage? What does that mean? Eloped and ran away from the wedding? Then wouldn't this be Kevin's fault? That's right. If Kevin hadn't been at fault first, why wouldn't he show up on such an important day? Have you noticed? Someone else is missing today too. The group of relatives and friends looked around the scene and quickly confirmed it. Lisa, who was usually affectionately by Kevin's mother's side, was also missing. Kevin's mother listened to the discussions behind her, her face livid. Eloped and ran away from the wedding? He clearly told me Lisa suddenly got into a car accident, so he had no choice but to. Halfway through, her voice abruptly stopped. At this point, what else could she not understand? It was clearly that after Kevin ran away from the wedding, he was worried his own reputation would be damaged, so he pushed all the reasons for the wedding cancellation onto me. Sam gave a cold laugh. Whether there was a car accident or not, can't you just check the hospitalization records? Besides, is there no one left in your family? Did the groom have to personally take someone to the hospital? Kevin's mother slowly calmed down. She stared straight at me. Celine, was it really? It seemed hard for her to say. She closed her eyes before finally saying it. Was it Kevin who ran away from the wedding? I nodded. Yes, and the reason he ran away from the wedding was Lisa. Kevin's mother staggered and almost couldn't stand steady. Only after a long time did she regain her composure and say, I was impulsive, Mom. Auntie is sorry to you. Sam's face still looked terrible, but he didn't interrupt again. With things having reached this point, Kevin's mother had no heart to stay any longer and left with the group of relatives and friends. As for Sam and me, we weren't affected. We took our friends and changed to the next location. Chapter 04. Driven by the atmosphere, the gloom in my heart was swept away, and I joined everyone in having fun. But after several rounds of drinking, a few friends suddenly started making a fuss, saying they wanted to see Sam's and my marriage certificate. Someone muttered, with Sam's ice block face, I really want to see what he looks like on his marriage certificate. As soon as those words fell, someone refuted. What ice block? Didn't you see him smiling at Celine all night? I couldn't help raising my eyes to look at Sam in the distance. Sure enough, my gaze met his in midair. As if he had been shocked by electricity, he quickly withdrew his gaze, picked up his wine, and drank it all in one go. Someone, emboldened by alcohol, called him over, stubbornly insisting on seeing the marriage certificate. Sam walked over and casually said, We haven't registered our marriage. Seeing everyone's expressions turn strange, I quickly added, The chosen date hasn't arrived yet. We're holding the wedding first and registering afterward. After hearing me say that, Everyone stopped pressing us and only said that once we got the certificate, we had to post it on Moments for them to see. The surroundings quieted down. Sam sat beside me, his hand resting on his knee, and spoke a little nervously. "What you said just now, was it true?" I hesitated before speaking. "I think, maybe there's no need." The wedding was already over. Sam lowered his eyelashes, making it impossible to tell whether he was happy or angry. "But they said they want to see our marriage certificate. What do we do if we don't register?" I fell silent. The tactic of dragging things out wouldn't work on them at all. As long as they didn't see a photo for one day, they wouldn't give up for that one day. Sam observed my expression and said, "Actually, we could really register our marriage. That would make it more realistic. After everything is over, it won't be too late to change the certificate." I raised an eyebrow at him. "But isn't everything already over?" Sam looked a little uncomfortable under my gaze. "Not yet. Kevin will definitely still jump out and make trouble." He was still racking his brains to come up with excuses. Just as he thought of a new one, I interrupted him. "Then let's register." Chapter 05. When I received news from Kevin again, it was already after Sam and I had finished registering our marriage. I had no interest in Kevin's affairs, but I had heard Sam mention a few things. I heard that after Kevin's mother left the hotel that day, she couldn't contact Kevin or Lisa no matter what. Thinking of what Sam and I had said that day, she was furious and directly froze both of their cards. But no one told Kevin exactly what had happened. After their cards were frozen, Kevin and Lisa soon couldn't hold on. Kevin probably thought that after he ran away from the wedding, my condition was extremely bad, which was why his mother was so angry. In order to appease his sugar mommy, he sent me an apology text. "Celine, I hurt you. I'm very sorry." Only when I saw that message did I belatedly realize I had forgotten to block him. Before blocking him, I even replied to him, "If you're sorry, then go die." Then I pressed the block button without hesitation. I had just turned off my phone when Kevin's mother's message arrived. She said it was because she had failed to teach her son properly that I had been hurt, so she ordered Kevin to obtain my forgiveness. It would be best if he could even get back together with me. Sam caught a glimpse of this message and said sourly, "Bigamy is illegal." I nodded. Oh, I had seen through it long ago. He insisted on registering our marriage because he wanted to cut off the last possible chance of me and Kevin getting back together. But all I could say was, he had slightly overestimated my feelings for Kevin. A person that disgusting, I wasn't a trash can. After thinking for a moment, I edited a long message and sent it to Kevin's mother, "Auntie, Kevin and I are absolutely impossible, and I'm already married. Please don't contact me again in the future." After it was successfully sent, I blocked her too. Actually, it wasn't as if I couldn't see through Kevin's mother's little schemes. When she went to the hotel to confront me at first, she had already known that Kevin was the one who had run away from the wedding, but she felt it wasn't a big deal. By comparison, the fact that I had cleanly and decisively changed the groom made her angrier. But after learning that Kevin had run away from the wedding for Lisa, everything became different. She needed me and Kevin to get back together to cover up this scandal. For that, she was willing to lower herself. Seeing everything I did, Sam's lips curled slightly, but when I looked at him, he forcibly pressed the smile down again. "You're not stupid. You can see her intentions." My face darkened. "I'll give you one chance to compliment me again." Sam cleared his throat. "You're very not stupid." Me? I turned my head back and didn't even give him another glance. "Move your things to the guest room." Sam didn't react for a moment and froze. "Why?" I smiled. "Because I don't want to see you." Sam. Chapter 06. 2 days later, I received a message from my best friend. She seemed rather excited and sent several 60-second voice messages in a row. Only when I saw that the speed at which she was sending voice messages had slowed down did I tap open the first one. "Celine, you have no idea how satisfying that was just now. Kevin probably thought you were at my place and came straight to my door, even asking me where you were. I directly told him that you were already married. I reckon he probably didn't really believe it, but I already gave him a fierce scolding. In the end, I chased him out with a broom." Thinking of her glorious battle record in the past, I burst out laughing. "I recognize your combat power." She sent another voice message. "He. But you have to be careful. If he comes to your door, Remember to let Sam step in and beat him out. Be careful not to get hurt yourself." Warmth filled my heart, and I replied to her with a kiss sticker. Chapter 07. After who knew how many people he asked for confirmation, Kevin came to my door. Out of habit, he tried to use his fingerprint to unlock the door, only to find that it wouldn't open. He tried several times in a row, until the door lock sounded an alarm. Only then did he give up and switch to knocking. But even after knocking for a long time, no one came to open the door. When had Kevin ever suffered this kind of treatment? In the past, whenever he came to my house, I would go downstairs to pick him up. Half an hour later, Kevin completely lost his patience and smashed the door in furious frustration. "Celine! Celine!" Lisa's voice could faintly be heard at the door, trying to persuade him. "Kevin, be gentler. Be careful with your hand." After Sam finished showering, he walked straight to the door and opened it. He swept his eyes over Kevin from head to toe. "What are you looking for my wife for?" Kevin and Lisa both froze in place. A minute later, Lisa let out an excited scream and threw herself toward him. "Sam, you're back." Sam took a step back and dodged her, his face full of disgust. "I don't have a sister. Don't call me that." Lisa was embarrassed for a moment. Before she could speak, Sam asked again, "What are you looking for my wife for?" Only then did Kevin belatedly react. He spoke in disbelief. "Celine really got married? To you?" Lisa's smile froze on her face just like that. She denied it repeatedly. "Impossible. Absolutely impossible. How could you marry Celine?" She looked at Sam and confirmed again. "Sam, you're joking, right?" Kevin also refused to believe it. He pushed Sam aside and tried to barge into the house to find me. But Sam didn't move an inch, while Kevin was the one shaking back a step. "Celine couldn't possibly have married you. This is impossible." Sam couldn't be bothered to waste words with him and directly took 2 bright red marriage certificates from his jacket pocket, afraid that Kevin would reach out to take them. He even specially opened them. "See clearly? Celine, my wife, legally." Lisa stared fixedly at those 2 marriage certificates and screamed hysterically. "How could you marry Celine? How could you?" Kevin frowned slightly and scolded in a low voice. "Lisa!" Lisa seemed not to hear him and kept repeating that sentence nonstop. Kevin came back to his senses and still wanted to force his way inside. "I don't believe it. Let me see Celine. Let me see her." I was afraid Sam couldn't handle them alone, so I wanted to go check the situation. But the moment I came out of the room, I saw Sam lift his long leg and kick Kevin far away. Then he shut the door with one motion. I was dumbfounded. That was so simple and brutal. Sam turned around and saw me, then instinctively stuffed the marriage certificates into his pocket. I frowned. "Didn't I put those away? Why are you carrying them with you?" Sam seemed a little afraid to look at me. "Your best friend messaged me and told me to protect you. I guessed Kevin would come." The more he spoke, the quieter his voice became. "Isn't this more effective than wasting words with him?" Kevin seemed to have heard my voice and started knocking on the door again. "Celine, you married Sam just to make me regret it, didn't you?" I rolled my eyes and ignored him. Kevin soon had no time to question me anymore, because even through the door, I could hear Lisa shouting at him. "Didn't you say they wouldn't have any contact? Why did they get married? It's all your fault. You useless thing. Useless." Kevin seemed to feel embarrassed. Half coaxing, half dragging, he forcibly took Lisa away. Sam and I left the monitor. Sam's expression was somewhat hard to describe. "She actually likes me. How terrifying." I nodded in agreement. Sam changed the subject. "Fortunately, you saved me. If you hadn't agreed to marry me, I'd have been pestered by that lunatic." I raised an eyebrow. "Then how are you going to thank me?" Sam leaned against the door and looked outside. After confirming that the 2 of them had left, he undid the first button of his shirt. "If you don't mind, I can offer myself to you." He didn't say those 4 words, but I understood instantly. My face flushed red as I grabbed a nearby throw pillow and threw it at him. "Sam!" Sam turned slightly and dodged my attack. I glared at him, then turned and went back to the study to continue working. Sam soon followed me in again. He didn't speak and simply watched me quietly. Only after I pressed save and shut down the computer did he speak. I think those two will probably come again. Why don't we go on a honeymoon trip? It would be just right for avoiding them. I nodded in agreement. Avoiding them was indeed the best method. Facing two lunatics head-on was an extremely foolish thing to do. Sam and I hit it off immediately and booked plane tickets for that night. By the time the surveillance system sent another alarm notification, Sam and I had already landed in the neighboring province. Chapter 08. The moment we landed, Sam and I went to try a famous local-themed escape room. I had once come across countless recommendation posts about it, but I had never gotten around to going, only because Lisa said she was scared. Kevin had removed this item from our schedule. I shook my head, kicked that disgusting pair of man and woman out of my mind, and focused on solving the puzzles. The escape room wasn't too difficult, and Sam and I didn't spend too much time on it. Everything went smoothly, until, just as we were about to come out, an NPC suddenly darted out from a room beside us. I screamed in fright and plunged straight into Sam's arms. Sam wasn't prepared. He took a step back and crashed into a sharp decoration behind him. He let out a low hiss, but his other hand still held me tightly. My heart was beating wildly, and it took me a long while to recover. When we left the escape room and were under bright lights, I suddenly saw a small spot of blood on Sam's back. I gently tugged his hand. "Sam, you're hurt." Sam took the opportunity to hold my hand and smiled. "It's not a big problem. I'll just apply some medicine when we get back." I lowered my head and searched on my phone, then dragged Sam straight into the nearest pharmacy. As soon as we returned to the hotel, I told him to take off his clothes. Sam's ears suddenly turned red. "I can do it myself." I nodded and smoothly stuffed the medicine and cotton balls into his hand. "Fine, I'll watch how you do it." The spot where he was injured was somewhere he couldn't reach by himself. Sam refused to believe it and tried many times, but he was always just a little short. Not only did he fail to apply the medicine, he also tugged at the wound until it hurt a little. Seeing me standing to the side with my arms crossed, watching the show, his eyes shifted, and he suddenly let out a pained cry. Hiss. I took the medicine from him in annoyance and helped apply it, but Sam was full of tricks. It wasn't enough for me to apply the medicine for him. From time to time, he would also let out a restrained cry of pain. At first, I didn't think too much about it and only instinctively blew on the wound for him. But after it happened several times, I finally caught on. I deliberately poked a spot where he wasn't injured. Sure enough, Sam fell for it and immediately cried out in pain. I put away the cotton balls and medicine, then looked at him leisurely. Sam, he still hadn't realized anything was wrong. I poked him hard on the back. "You're not even injured here. Why are you shouting that it hurts?" Sam's face stiffened, and he answered honestly, "I forgot." He carefully turned his head and glanced at me. "You were so nervous. I thought I must have been hurt badly." Originally, he had wanted to use this chance to play the wounded act with me. Who would have thought he had only been hurt such a tiny bit? I found it a little funny and deliberately didn't say anything. Sam probably thought I was angry because of this, so he turned around to explain, but I didn't deliberately crash into it. He wasn't wearing a shirt. With that turn, his abs came straight into my view. For a moment, I couldn't look away. Sam understood instantly. The wounded act didn't work very well on me, but the honey trap did. So although nothing showed on his face, from that moment on, he kept racking his brains to show off his body. Either he forgot to bring a bath towel when showering, or he deliberately stood in front of me while changing clothes. When one could no longer endure, there was no need to endure anymore. On the third day Sam did this. I pounced on him. Sam got what he wanted and still acted innocent. When I was at my sleepiest, he leaned close to my ear. "If I'd known you liked this, I should have seduced you with my body 5 years ago." Only, when he said the second half of that sentence, I was already so sleepy that I was barely conscious and didn't hear it at all. Chapter 09. On the 7th day of my honeymoon trip with Sam, Kevin called again. This time, he was cautious. He had someone else speak first, and only after getting my response did he take the phone. Afraid I would recognize his voice, he even deliberately softened his voice. He spoke urgently. "Celine, I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have run away from the wedding for Lisa. And even more, I shouldn't have hurt your heart because of her. Celine, I interrupted him. Kevin, on the day you and Lisa kissed at the room door, I saw it. I heard it too. Kevin's explanation abruptly stopped. I didn't wait for him and directly hung up the phone. Then I blocked this new number as well. Sam frowned. He still hasn't given up? I curled my lips. Maybe he regrets it. But what did his regret have to do with me? Chapter 10. That night, Sam and I had just returned from a walk when someone blocked our path. It was Lisa. Seeing Sam's and my hands clasped together, her expression twisted hideously. Let go! Let go! Sam frowned slightly and instinctively shielded me behind him. Seeing this, Lisa was even more provoked. She pointed at me and shouted, Celine! Back then, it was my brother who saved you. How could you abandon him? Sam and I quietly stepped back. We planned to take advantage of Lisa's madness and run back to the room. But every time we took one step back, she took one step forward. Later, she even tried to pounce over and grab Sam's hand. Sam, don't be with Celine. She was drugged before, and my brother saved her. I was so angry that I laughed out loud. And then? From then on, I have to repay his life-saving grace with my body? Even if you siblings kiss in front of me, I still have to clap and cheer? What feudal relic from some ancient dynasty was she? Lisa seemed to have been hit where it hurt and shook her head repeatedly. It's not like that. Sam, I didn't. Someone like Kevin, how could I possibly look up to him? As soon as she finished speaking, Kevin's voice came from behind her. Lisa. He stared at Lisa, his eyes full of disappointment. Lisa was startled, but when she turned and saw Sam and me, she quickly became firm again. I never looked up to you in the first place. If I hadn't needed you to help me get rid of Celine, why would I have clung to you every day? You're the useless one. I gave you so many good ideas. Yet you still couldn't do it. You watched helplessly as the two of them got married. Kevin, I hate you. Kevin's face suddenly turned cold, right in front of Sam and me. The two people involved, they actually started tearing into each other. Kevin walked to Lisa's side, grabbed the back of her neck, and gritted his teeth as he spoke. Since you like Sam so much, why didn't you tell him that it was you who staged everything yourself, drugged Celine, and then had me go save her? Seeing Sam's gaze toward her become more and more disgusted, Lisa hurriedly explained, That's not true. Sam, Kevin is making it all up. Sam shook her off. I have nothing to do with you. Don't call me that. It's disgusting. Kevin looked at Sam and me, then at Lisa, and spoke in disbelief. He wasn't your boyfriend? You lied to me? Lisa's eyes dodged, not daring to meet Kevin's. At this point, what else could Kevin fail to understand? He shoved Lisa hard. Then he came forward and tried to pull my hand. Celine, I was deceived by her. She said Sam was her boyfriend, and that you had been pestering Sam in every possible way, trying to steal him away. So, that's why I approached you. That's why I ran away from the wedding. Celine, I was just blinded by her. Can you forgive me? Sam kicked him hard in the chest. So you drugged my wife? And even dared to impersonate me? I abruptly raised my head and looked at Sam. Kevin stared blankly at Sam. It was you? I finally connected everything together. Back then, it was Sam who had saved me, but Kevin had impersonated him. Under Lisa's instruction, he had even used that excuse to approach me. Everything had originated from Lisa's lie. I took a deep breath and turned off the recording. Sam, call the police. Sam nodded and dialed the number. Lisa hurriedly rushed forward, wanting to snatch away the phone. You can't call the police. You can't. Kevin grabbed her, his smile like an evil ghost crawling out of hell. You're scared? If Celine won't forgive me, then don't even think about having an easy time either. While the two of them were entangled, Sam had already finished making the call. Lisa wanted to run, but she still couldn't break free. In her desperation, she actually picked up a brick from the side and smashed it hard against Kevin's head. As she smashed him, she muttered, Isn't it because you're stupid? You believed whatever I said. Since you promised to help me, you should have done it. Sam was afraid she would turn around and attack me, so when she wasn't paying attention, he twisted her arms behind her back. The sound of police sirens soon rang out. Lisa pointed at Kevin on the ground. He did it. I didn't do anything. Almost at the same time, Sam and I took out our phones. "There's a recording here," she said it herself. The color drained visibly from Lisa's face. Chapter 11. By the time we returned to the hotel, it was already late at night. I finally asked the question buried in my heart. "Since the person back then was you, why didn't you tell me?" Sam sighed and said rather resentfully, "After I took you to the hospital back then, my mother suddenly fell seriously ill. I saw that you were temporarily safe, so I went home first to check on her. Who knew that when I saw you again after some time, you were happily following Kevin around like a little tail? At the time, I didn't know it was him and Lisa who had done it. Seeing how deeply devoted you were to him, I went abroad to recover from my heartbreak. Later, Roxana told me that something seemed off between Kevin and Lisa, so I rushed back as fast as I could. The moment I landed, I saw you smashing up the wedding venue." Roxana was the girl who had told me she saw the two of them kissing. I asked again, "Then what was going on between you and Lisa?" I kept feeling that her mental state wasn't quite right. Sam and I had never had that much interaction, yet she was actually able to say things like I had been constantly pestering Sam and destroying their relationship. Sam's face looked as if he had a toothache. "It was just that one year at Kevin's birthday. She probably fell in love with me at first sight. After that, she clung to me every day." He had gone abroad, first because seeing me with Kevin had hit him hard, and second, to avoid Lisa's harassment. I burrowed into his arms. "No wonder we hadn't seen each other for years. And the moment you saw me, you immediately said you wanted to steal the bride. So it had been planned for a long time." Sam gave a rather tsundere little hum. "I was already prepared to silently give you my blessing. Who told that dog of a man to court death himself?" He lowered his head and kissed me. "But we were meant to be a perfect match in the first place. We even had such perfect tacit understanding just now." Recording at the same time. From the moment Kevin appeared, I had felt something was wrong and turned on the recording function on my phone. I hadn't had much hope at first. Who knew the two of them would spill more and more? Until in the end, they completely sold each other out. With these recordings, the two of them probably wouldn't be able to get out again anytime soon. And later, Sam and I only heard that Lisa had smashed Kevin pretty badly. When Kevin's mother saw the situation, she thought about how she had kindly adopted Lisa. Yet Lisa had not only used her son and ruined the family's reputation, but in the end had also repaid kindness with betrayal, smashing her son into that state. Afterward, Lisa even tried to pretend to be insane and stupid to escape punishment. So Kevin's mother quickly made her stance clear. She would absolutely not reconcile with Lisa, and she even published a newspaper announcement declaring that she was cutting ties with her. Aside from that, she also used the power of the family. Presumably, Lisa's days would not be very easy from then on. Looking at Sam's smug appearance, I suddenly remembered all those moments in the past when he said one thing but meant another, and the urge to tease him immediately rose in me. I withdrew from his arms and pretended to take off the ring. "Right. You said back then that this ring was borrowed from someone else. Hurry and return it to them." After going through great difficulty to pull it off just a little, Sam reached out and pressed it back onto my finger. He looked at me through gritted teeth. "When you put the ring on, didn't you see that our initials were engraved inside? Besides, who could I borrow it from and still have it fit so perfectly?" I deliberately pretended to be confused. "You said it yourself. Oh, and you also said that after everything was resolved, you would div." Before I could finish speaking, Sam sealed my lips with a kiss, blocking the rest of my words. Only when my legs went weak did he let go of me. "You believe whatever I say?" Then I also said tonight. The last few words were spoken in an extremely low voice. I pushed him away and tried to walk outside. "Not approved." Sam wrapped an arm around my waist and pulled me back. "I don't understand." Later, I didn't even have the strength to bite him. I swore that starting tomorrow, I would sleep in separate rooms from Sam. But as soon as I had made that fierce declaration, Sam used his body to make me understand. Words could not be said casually.